Well, hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and you can see I'm sitting next to this amazing icon that says Kate Tucker with no camera. So, first of all, happy Wednesday. Second of all, Kate will be sitting on the sidelines tonight. I'm going to be bumping her off to the side here in just a minute. Kate got quite sick this week. A nice case of COVID and some other stuff. So she is not feeling good, but she is dedicated and has decided to just be in here. She may comment in the chat to help out and what have you. So I'm going to bump her back off to the side, but give her a virtual wave and a blessing to feel better really, really quick. So let's see, who do we got on board? All right. So first of all, this is CNC Wednesday, and I'm going to do my best to help you. And Kate will, in her best fashion, and considering her circumstances, also try to help you answer CNC questions, whether it's business related, CNC machine related, or router bits, or whatever else. If I can answer it, I will do my best. So who do we got here? First of all, looks like Tony was the first one on board. Hey, Tony. And Jack, of course, Jack's here, and Patrick. Hello, Patrick, Bubba, and Dion. Of course, come on. Hey, Dion, Gary, yep, another regular, and Jack. Jack, I got my eyes fixed. I got to tell you, I got my other cataract taken care of, but I'm still getting used to this, and so we're all doing much better. I can read things without wearing glasses or bugging myself really close to the camera. And Renato, right? Larry Bennett. Hey, Larry, what's going on? And Gary, and Michael, and Patrick. Wishing you all the best, Kate. And we have what Hood? What is that? Hand wind amps. Use your lips from my. Well, I got to bring this one up. This to see this. All right, now I can see it. Hand wiped. Use your ling for MK for my MK2 CNC. I don't know what you mean. You'll have to clarify that. Okay, so while we're here, okay, let's get started. Kind of going a little slow because I feel like only half of me is here because my CNC sister Kate is not on board helping me out. So I just got to hold her. Well, she's kind of there in the background there. So, all right. Well, first of all, I want to tell everyone that I posted yesterday that the 1.5-inch ultra smooth cutting surfacing bit was back in stock, and I just got them like yesterday morning. And so, and then the hog, and you guys slaughtered me. I mean, I was up until 1:30 last night and all day today prepping them and packaging them up and sending them out. So you have effectively worn me out. That doesn't happen very often, but you succeeded in doing it. And so, yeah, that's what's going on. So let's see. How do we start today? First of all, is if you were here last week, first of all, what is this? This is your Wednesday night show. It's the Garrett and Kate show, I guess. We just kind of get together, we talk CNC, try to help you out with whatever we know, whatever your questions are, and then we talk whatever we need to talk, tell stories, and see, celebrate what you're doing, what have you. And so this is a regular Wednesday night thing, and we can talk CNC business and anything CNC that you want. So you know that my specialty well, I know how to work CNCs and teach it, but also CNC business. So if you're thinking about business, then by all means ask business related questions, because business is a mindset. And for women who are our sister CNC'ers who are on here, remember that Kate has the Women Who CNC Facebook group, and she started it. No men are allowed. We are not allowed. All right. It's for women only because they talk a different language. And so that works better for them when they can talk one-on-one that way. So we got Audra and so Kate. Okay. Kate's in there in the comments. She's sharing. So you can see her in the comments. She's on the YouTube side, by the way, not the Facebook side. And so what have I been up to as we wait for some things to come up? Well, Mark is here, and as I said, Madra. Okay, so what have I been up to? If you remember last week, we were talking about the new router bit that I'm going to be coming out with, a seriously badass bit. I mean, badder ass than the hog, that I was going to be running on the Phantom, and going to be working on this big piece of maple there. Well, you can see I haven't done a whole lot since last week, other than, well, I can't say it. I've been working on a video, and videos take a while. So sometimes they take a couple weeks, depending on how in-depth the video is. So this one is taking a while. There's also some back-end business that goes on here. When I run a business that's growing, and it can tie up a lot of your time. And I'm getting ready to expand the what IDC Woodcraft offers to you. So one of the things, just on that note, if you are struggling at all with your design with the Vectrix software, Kate can always help you, right? She is, links are in the description of this video, whether it's in Facebook that you're watching or in the YouTube channel. There are links in the description for the IDC Woodcraft store, for the surfacing bit. They're going quick, really. It's I mean, I just got swamped. Same with the hog. So I was really surprised. But she will. Her contact information is in the description. Now, mind you, she's not feeling well right now, so she may not talk to you right away. And so, who do we got? Mad Dog. And oh, Jack says hello to Kate. Isn't it kind of weird? You're talking to Kate in the comment section rather than in the than seeing her on screen. Kind of interesting. But you know what? I got to hand it to her. She jumped out there, right? So even as crappy as she's feeling right now, we were talking for a moment just before we started. And you can hear it in her voice, and every other word is, "Hey, Garrett, Garrett," you know, kind of like that. You know, that's why Kate's sitting on the sidelines. So I got a comment. Let's see, Jack. You said I was supposed to cut that big wood at 1,000 inches per minute, not foot per minute, brother. Although I might try. I don't know what that machine would do at 1,000 feet per minute. That'd be kind of cool. I'd have to put a supercharger on it. But I definitely today I did run it at 1,000 inches per minute just to make sure that the machine was capable of hitting that speed. So it is capable of going that speed, and I'm going, oh crap, this is going to be an interesting test. But that'll be cool. Also, the right behind this. Oh, I want to. I don't have it out here. Maybe I do. I want to show you something. Something that I got to put away right now. If you have a vacuum table on your CNC machine, I was talking to a company. They actually contacted me. They're called All Star CNC, and they work in CNC holding methods. And so they talked to me about this vacuum, this material that you put on top of your machine that increases the performance of your vacuum table. If you have a vacuum table and you're trying to hold down a piece this size in a vacuum zone this big, you know, it doesn't hold. You just push it around your finger. Well, they sent me samples of this stuff, and it's just like this thin foam pad, and it's got like these 1/4-inch holes, maybe 1/8-inch holes every inch and a half apart. And you put a little block that size, and I can't push the block with that on there. So it's really interesting. I'm actually going to work it after I get the first side of this maple piece milled down and smoothed out. When I flip it over, I'm gonna put that stuff down and work on this at the same while I got that foam on the vacuum table. So very interesting. I've been talking to him quite a bit. A guy named Alex there at All Star CNC. So we look, if you have a vacuum table in your machine, I think you'll be pretty interested in this stuff. I did do some trial runs with, just like I said, a little piece like that, and it was very interesting. So we got a question from Don. So let's pop it out here. Do I prefer to make or demand on-demand model or building up inventory? So okay, so this is a twofold question. It's a great question. So this is business related question. So what Don is asking is, if you are going to be in CNC business, do you batch a lot of product anticipating to sell it, or do you make it as it's needed? So the first part of the answer is, if you don't have a definite market that you have consistent sales, no, you do not want to stock up on stuff. A lot of creators, they'll make a bunch of stuff and they'll go to craft shows. Sometimes they do really well, sometimes they don't. But even online, you just don't want to do a lot of batch work until you know your market is buying the stuff. And once you know the market's buying, then you batch up. I'm going to say smart. You batch up in a smart way. You don't over inventory yourself unless you know that demand is going to be there. An example in my case, CNC router bits. When I come up with a new bit design and I have my tooling company make it, the number one thing I'm looking for is there a need in the market. And the second thing is, okay, I see a potential need. I order a very small quantity, maybe anywhere between 5 and 30 of them, depending on what I anticipate when I start pushing this through its paces. And once I am comfortable, then I'll batch up to a certain size, like I may buy 200 bits. And then I talk about it. That happened with the 3/16 compression bit. I had 200 of them. My first round, I had 30 of them, right? And I was pushing it through a lot of paces. I broke them, to know their limits, what they can cut, what they can't cut, at certain feed rates. And then I got 200 of them. I wanted to see what the demand was once I got them up there, right? And I take that back. The first batch was 30 pieces. That wiped out of 30 pieces. Second batch was 200, wiped out of 200. Okay, so now I'm ordering 1,000 because I know that it's going to meet a need. It's a good combo bit between the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 inch compression bit. So once you have a market and you know that you're doing it, then you start to batch them up. I would suggest, if you know what the market you're serving, you have a good idea of your avatar, your ideal customer, and where they're at, and you're able to get your products out to market to there, make 2 or 3 of them. And then if somebody wants one and you don't have the inventory, or you don't want to sell it, take orders. All right. And then, but always get a deposit for your order first. You never want to take an order and make it without a deposit, because 75%, literally 75% of the people will dump out of you. They've lost the interest by that point and they have no skin in the game. So also, another aspect to this question is, I would not, you want to make sure that you don't go too broad in the type of products that you make, the projects that you carve to sell. If you're going to make patriotic stuff, flags, and maybe a couple other things, you always want to accent what your primary product is. Don't make all kinds of different things. You will drive yourself crazy. That was one of the things when Kate and I was when I was mentoring Kate. was one of the things that we had to get her to realize, that she was going all over the place. And that just, if you're not clear on what you're doing, you're not presenting clarity to your market, right? And when you don't present clarity to your market's confused. They're not clear. So I hope that answered the question, Don. Let's roll on down. Kate is sharing some comments. Let's see what she said. All right, friends, what are your questions tonight? Let's make the most of our time. So this, I want to tell you something, everyone who is interested in CNC business, right? We're just in business, right? Just to pay the bills, or we are entrepreneurs. And an entrepreneur is someone who we have to make sacrifices in the beginning. If you are serious about starting your business, you have to. There's no way around it. It's not easy. There's no easy path, right? And you have to make sacrifices. And in Kate's example, she feels like shit right now. She really does. And yet she is devoted enough in what she does that she has chosen to show up instead of staying in bed. All right. So this is what we do as an entrepreneur. We show up even when we don't want to, even when it doesn't feel good, even when it doesn't, there's something else. We sacrifice family time. We sacrifice our other things that we want to do for the sake of what our main purpose is, because what we end up doing is we know that we're serving a bigger purpose. We are doing it for the greater good of other people. And that's what gives us the strength to go on, right? We are here to serve you and help you as best we can. So I just want to hats off, Kate, for being here. And for the rest of you, just realize that this is what it takes to, it's 100% commitment, right? It's this decision inside. I'm going to do it no matter what. The price is, we have to pay a price to get to where we want to be. All right. So, got a question from Greg. Hey, Garrett, do I have plans for a 1/8 hog bit? I have an application. I could really use it. So, Greg, brother, I talked to my tooling company about it. This is not off the table yet, but my main tooling company doesn't have the capability to create that with that small diameter. But I go back to them. I said, you know what? Think of what Henry Ford said. Either you think you can or you think you can't. Who are you? Right? This is what I tell them. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll figure it out. Right? And so it's not off the table, but that it was brought up. It's definitely something that I have addressed. And now I will bring it back up to my tooling company. It's a tricky thing because we're dealing with a much smaller diameter and we start to lose the strength in the bit. So the geometry of the bit will have to change a little bit rather than as sharp of a jagged edge that we would have on the hog or the beast that's coming out, right? And speaking of the beast, I'll talk about that in a minute. It'd have to be much longer, smoother, jagged edges, just because for every angle, every point we go in, we create a weak spot, right? So there could be multiple weak spots. What I am doing is I am coming up with a shorter 1/8 compression bit because I see no purpose for a 1/8 flute length on a compression bit. So I actually have samples of the 5/8 flute length. Right. So, and I'll probably talk to them. I may do that tonight. Talk to them tonight or tomorrow. Hog 1/8. All right. This will be fun. Either you think you can or you think you can't. Who are you? All right. So, Greg, well, remind me again about that next week. And let's see. We got Don. He's talking to Jack. Okay. All right, I just got to pop this up. Don, by the way, it's Dan, not Don. Oh, okay. See, my eyes aren't perfect, my friend. I'm glad you put it in bold. Even though I got my cataracts fixed, I still do need some lenses. And at the same time, it's the graphics on my own screen, right? I'll come up with some excuse. Well, no, I won't. As an entrepreneur, we don't make excuses, right? We either blame or we take responsibility. As an entrepreneur in CNC business and in life in general, we have to take responsibility for everything in our life. Whatever results you have in your life right now is a result of how we think, right? So if you want to get into business and make it successful, we have to change the thinking. And again, we talked a lot about that with the mentoring with Kate. So, Madra, you made a sale at your daughter's wedding last Saturday. Because of the wedding signs you made, I think you found your niche. Wedding decor. I'm not ready this summer season, but I do have a goal for next year. Okay, so first of all, Madra, congratulations on making a sale, right? This is the first thing when it comes to CNC projects. Just get your stuff out there, right? Make it be seen by people and let them know you made it. The wedding business, let me tell you a little thing about the wedding business. I was in wedding photography for about 5 years, just on the sideline with a friend. And the prime wedding season is October. It's not the summertime. So you have a little bit more time. What wedding decor is good. Now, I'm going to have fun with this one because this goes into your avatar again, right? Is wedding decor is great. Now you want to find first of all, what do people want? Remember, number one, a wedding is a woman's game, right? Us guys do we have to do the wedding? Can't we just say I do at the courthouse and go fishing, right? That's what we do, right? So you got to remember, wedding stuff is a woman's game. So you got to talk to women. The best thing to do is find Facebook groups or forums of women who are engaged, planning out their weddings. Go talk to wedding planners and wedding photographers. Start to understand the market and the niche and what they want. And even in weddings, I always talk about niching, right? So you have I've talked about you have your Dollar General crowd, you've got your Walmart crowd, you got your Kroger crowds, and you've got your Kate, what is it? Good Lord, Jungle Gyms or whatever that. I know I'm saying it wrong. She'll put it in the comments, but you want to find the crowd that's going to be paying, the $25,000 for a wedding. They want all the top end stuff. The girl who's getting married is the one who is, they are going all out for the thing. So wedding is a good market. It is a bit seasonal, right? Not many people are getting married in November. It starts to taper off in November. October is the hottest season of them all. Christmas, everybody's focused on the holidays. So, but that gives you time to plan, do some research. You want to understand the psychology and where they're looking, right? And you also want to understand the terminology that they're using, because when you get your stuff made, you can do a lot of word of mouth, but you also want to get online. You clearly want to get online with that, because women are bouncing around always. And Kate, put in the comments, please, where you think the best resource to go to look and understand about wedding stuff, what women are looking for a demographic that's going to pay you well. So great. Congratulations on the sale. Good. Jeez, good Lord. And so, Garrett, do you make cut V-bits? Do I make upcut V-bits? Uncut V-bits? I don't understand that question. Unless it's upcut V-bits. I don't get the question. So you're going to have to restate the question. We have Jack. I can make most of my items very quick, so there's not much wait time for the customer. That's a good point too, is you want to, whatever products that you make, right? If you're making stuff that takes a long time, you're going to have to compensate in one way, shape, or form on your time. Of course, if you get a higher demographic, you want better quality, a higher paying demographic, you want better quality stuff, but you don't want to overburden yourself with the workload, right? With making lots of different stuff. That's going to take a lot of time. The ideal is for a bride, is to make something. I'm coming back to the wedding thing, but it is to make something that she's going to batch out for all her guests. Right, then you can make a nice batch of things, and you come up with a new design for something else. Kate wants to take a minute to chat about puzzle pieces filtering together this week. She has seen countless folks struggling with this concept. Puzzle pieces. Most say both cut pieces outside the line. Others say different. So I'm going to just bring her on board real quick if she is up to talking. Because I'm not sure if you wanted to say something on that, Kate, or not. So bear with her.
Hello. I'm sorry if you hear extra stuff in my background too, because I'm actually in my living room. So I've just seen a lot of people in the groups and about doing puzzle pieces and fitting things together, like cutting boards. And so many different people have said to cut bulk pieces outside the line when you're cutting them, which I completely understand, because if you're cutting on the line, when you're trying to fit two pieces together, you're not giving the allowance for the bit to have, so if you're working with a 1/4 inch bit and you're cutting on the line, then you're losing that 1/8 inch difference when you're cutting around. So of course the two pieces are not going to be fitting together. So I just wondered if you had any thoughts on, if both pieces should be cut outside the line, or if you think one should be cut outside and then one should be cut on with an allowance, or what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, good. So Kate's talking about, again, with some people, they make puzzle pieces, a couple pieces of wood that will fit together as a puzzle, and maybe they'll burn names in them, and so one piece has a kid's name, the other piece has the other kid's name, the mom's name, the son's name, the dog's name, right? So how do you cut these things? First of all, you've got a profile design, right, of the piece, and then you have the mating piece. So you have the male and the female, and they come together. And so when you do a profile on that, excuse me, generally you want to profile outside the line. I've never made one, but this is how I would do it. I would profile outside the line. Now, theoretically, if we profiled outside the line, the pieces are going to match perfectly, right? They'll even be tight going in. So you need to offset a little bit from the outside of the line. You need to offset a little bit to the inside, or the inside direction. So I would profile inward. I would profile outside and do a negative allowance offset. So I'm going to bring up my metrics. This is a good question. So first of all, I'm going to switch my screen format, and then we're going to share present. And where's my vector screen? Okay, when we do this, it shows all the different screens that we have. Oh, where's Vectric? I got it open. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's interesting. It's not showing Vectric here. I want to show you how to do a negative allowance. So I apologize. I can't find it. Why is it not showing up here? I'm going to cancel that. It is launched. Okay, so I'm going to try it one more time, and then I'm going to describe it if it doesn't show up. And it's not showing up, which is like the weirdest thing.
Garrett, try to go in and close your Vectric and then reopen it, because I had the same thing.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that. Okay, relaunching Vectric. And let's see if it comes in now.
I'll just touch really quickly. A couple of people have mentioned that they really liked the idea of using a laser to do this. And that's all well and fine, but not everyone has a laser. So I think it's a really important lesson for people to know. Just because this is primarily about CNC, so learning these tips will also not only help you with puzzles, but it'll also help you with other projects. If you have things that kind of need to fit, like say a box, or you want to try and cut out some dovetails or something like that, this is a really great lesson to learn. So this application can definitely apply to more than one thing.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And it can apply to laser too, and in its own way if you're using light burn. Okay, so I've created a square, and we're going to pretend that this is just one of the puzzle pieces that kind of swirls inward and swirls back out. No, I mean we can do that real quick. What the hell? I'll just put a little into a circle, and I'll run a circle there. Close that. Do some cuts. And we'll just pretend that's part of the puzzle piece there. So I can't really zoom into the area of the screen, but I want to find out how I can do that. So if this is a puzzle piece, what I would do is I'm going to select the puzzle piece and do a profile cut. And then you're going to pick out your appropriate bit. My screen may be flashing for you, but I can't do anything about that. So right now it's got a 1/4 inch down cut on it. The first thing you want to do is make sure you profile the outside right button. You want that button selected. Okay, and then down below it says allowance offset. So if I put in a point, we'll just say 0.1, we'll exaggerate it for an allowance offset. What that's going to do is it'll create a cut. Well, right now, if I have no allowance offset, the edge of the tool is going to follow this line on the outside. If I put an allowance offset right there, or 0.1, we'll get stupid. We'll say 1/2 inch. The tool will offset 1/2 inch off the line, and that's where it's going to cut. And it'll leave a 1/2 inch of material between your line and the actual cut. So we use the allowance offset to do basically a rough cut, and then we come back in with another tool path with 0 allowance offset. But we want to make that puzzle piece just a hair loose, just a hair. And what you're going to do in the allowance offset area, instead of putting a 0.01, you're going to type in a negative 0.01. Right? And that'll offset the tool the other way. So you can put a negative number in that allowance offset, which many people don't realize. So does that answer the question, Kate?
Yes. I think that that's great. I like for people to realize that they can use that negative offset allowance, and that also works for the just the regular allowance that's underneath that as well, not just the offset allowance, but the actual allowance in Vectric. You can do negative as well.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I know without visually seeing it, it's maybe a little more complicated to understand.
Yeah, so we have to expand that. Where's that allowance?
In the separate last pass, if you select that one, there's the allowance there. You can also do a negative in that as well.
Okay. My screen is flashing so much right now for me
Oh gosh,
that it's
yeah.
gonna. Yeah. So just part of this, whatever is going on with the StreamYard, the service I use, it's things flash like crazy. I'm not sure why they do that. Okay. So you can use anywhere when you're doing an offset, you can use a positive or negative offset. And so negative is going to take you inward to the line and, past it a little bit. So I wanted to see what this was. Jack, now that you have a bigger machine, how do you depreciate the equipment and life expectancy that you would recommend for business? Or is that too much to ask and get? Yeah, that's an accountant thing. But if I remember right, there's a certain dollar figure. Like my accountant we write off anything under $2,500. We will just hit that right away. But if like a capital expense, like a machine, it's going to depreciate over a period of 5 years, if I remember right. But you know what? I'm not an accountant, so definitely ask your accountant. And I would suggest if you are running a machine that's going to really require you to have write-offs like that and depreciation, then you should probably have an accountant anyway to manage you, at least to do your taxes, keep you up to speed of how you work with your equipment and your costs, not with your equipment, but your costs and taxes on it. Okay, so JD, hey Garrett, your advice has been very helpful since I started my journey into doing CNC work. Just wanted to take a sec to say thanks. Maybe the 1/8 hog bit with a 1/4-inch shaft. Yeah, who knows? I'll see what I can do. And thank you for the compliment. Hey, Wade, nice to see you. Yeah, the mini pig bit. Wade has just given the 1/8 hog bit that I probably not going to come out with. We call it the mini pig or yeah, baby hog. And Roger wants the beast. Yep. The beast it's a couple weeks behind schedule because of other things. And I got to tell you something. There is a lot of work when it comes to releasing a new product. I will spend all day taking pictures of it. I will spend 3 or 4 or 5 days testing the darn things. And then we have to get it up on the website. We have to make sure the website is functioning correctly with a new product. And then we have to make sure that the whole chain and how everything is connected is working right as well. So, and then of course the documentation, the paperwork I may send with it, the hog, you get the little card with it. And I have to come up with graphics for that. So the hog, just so you know, let's see if I got it here, or the beast. So this is the beast, the beast logo. All right. So I want to actually make an animation for that. I think that'd be pretty cool, but we'll see. All right, Kate, I'm going to back it down again. And let's see, Alp. So, Patrick, you agree with Dan? Certain products are better to do with a laser cutter rather than a CNC. And jigsaw puzzles are one of those. So Patrick is one of those guys, this Alps Craft Shack, he's actually kind of versed in this kind of stuff. And he's been making a lot of things over the years that are laser type cut items. And so he's, if I remember right, he's got a CO2 and CO2 laser, but he's also got a CNC router. And so he's got better advice than I do on this because I have not run my laser nearly as much as I would have liked to. And so you guys are talking to each other, Dan and Patrick. Excellent, excellent. Trader Joe's. I told you she was going to put it in there. And I know that Kate was in the background going, oh my God, Garrett, when are you going to get this straight? Trader Joe's, right? Our demographics, right? We can either sell to the Dollar General crowd, who doesn't have any money. They're always going to try to cheat you, and they'll pocket something off your table if they can sometimes, right? Then we have the Walmart crowd. They don't have a lot of money. All right. They're looking for the deals, the discounts. So they're going shopping at places where they can save the money. Then you got your Kroger crowd, right? This is middle class, upper middle class, right? They've got the money. They want the beautiful lifestyle. They got a lot of, I guess they want to present themselves to the world in a certain way. And then you've got your upper class, right? Your Trader Joe's shoppers. These are people that just they buy expensive stuff. They want to spend money, right? And they want to spend a lot of money on the things that they get. So they feel cheap when they're buying from Walmart or a convenience store. All right. So when it comes to the wedding stuff that we were talking about, the wedding's an awesome market. You just got to find it. You got to find connections in it as well. Wedding planners, people you would want to talk to. But I want to give you a little tip when it comes to business. It's okay to approach a business, but you want to approach a business from the standpoint of asking advice. If you're going to someone who is a potential customer of yours, say a wedding planning business, you don't want to go up to them and say, hey, I make this and that. Would you be interested? Nobody wants to be sold to, and everybody wants to buy. But on this note, when you're approaching anybody to make a sale, you don't want to come up to them and just like get into the sale mindset and approach them that way, because it's a turnoff. It's to think about how you get approached by people and what turns you off, right? So the best thing you can do is go up to them and say, hey, and any kind of business area you want to get into where you need to get contacts, is to go up to them and say, I'm thinking of doing this, but I'm not really clear. And I know you're an expert in this area. Pump up their ego. All right. And I was wondering if you might be able to give me some advice as to things that I might do. What do the people want in this? And as you get talking to them, right, everybody wants to share what they know, and you get to talking to them, and then you work up a relationship, and then you can work into a long-term deal, because that's what you want. You want long-term relationships. You don't want the short-term one-off things. Kate, I'm going to bring you out. Just if you see something, give me just a timestamp that catches your attention. So I'm not bringing her out to talk, just so she can tell me real quick, because on this service we got a back chat. We can talk. And she is telling me. You are telling me. Okay, let's go to 824. So she's sending me messages. 824. I got to scroll back through this. And that was, here we go. Anyone know Gerbil software that works with a Mac that is approved paid software? Okay, so this question goes out to everyone. So in the comments, right? If you know of a Gerbil that works with a Mac that is approved paid software. So what I am going to share with you is, generally there are no programs that run on Mac for CNC, unless you're dealing with the web-based programs, or you're using a Windows emulator software on your Mac. So I did a video on this, but who knows? Sometimes they're always coming up with stuff. So couldn't tell you. I'm not the one that can really answer that question, other than I have looked and unless something new is out there. Okay, so 825. Let's go take a look at that. So I got to pop back and forth to Kate. She's going to be sharing timestamps with me. And so Brooks, so upcut V-bits. I won't create upcut V-bits. Actually, there's not really a point to it, because we don't. It's V-bits. I would rather have a down cut V-bit, and I have talked to my tooling company about that. That again, they say, oh, we can't do that, and I keep challenging them. So, eventually they will, because I don't quit, I don't give up, right? I'm not sure why you'd want an upcut. I would prefer downcut. And here's why: because when you have upcuts, you're asking for tear out. Now, when it comes to V-bits, right, you got a nice angle like that on your carve, right? Less opportunity for tear out. If you don't know what tear out is, let me find a piece of wood around here. You'd think I'd have a piece of wood laying around, seeing as I do, but okay. So tear out is when you have a router bit that's generally it's done with an upcut, and it's making this cut along like that, and the corkscrew of the bit is turning upwards. In other words, it's pulling the chips up. It's going to rip some of the fibers away along the cutting edge, right? So any kind of upcut bit is going to give you the potential to do that. And so that's with the ball nose. I also want a downcut ball nose, right? Because ball nose are notorious for creating that tear out if you don't set them up right. I'll give you a little tip on this. With a ball nose, your depth of cut, your first pass should be no more than half the radius of the ball. So if you have a 1/4 inch ball nose, you have an 1/8 inch radius, your first depth of pass should be a 1/16 of an inch. And then another actually should be just a little bit less, because what you want to do is get a little bit of that ball carving in the wood, a little bit more carving in the wood, and then you work your way down, and then you've got almost no cutting force along that side edge when the rest of the shaft, the straight part, gets down into the wood to cause tear out. So ball nose are a little bit different when you run them, and I want a down cut so there is no opportunity for tear out. I'm going to pop back over to Kate and see what else she said. It's the 9:32. It's where are we at? 9:32. This is so cool. Kate is still on the sidelines helping us out. Okay. It's from Wayne. Hey, Garrett. And he says, hi, Kate. Maybe that's why she popped it out, just to get her name out there. I'm going to pick on Kate a little bit. When doing an inlay, do the male piece... okay, the male piece mirrored or opposite of the female part, cutting the edges with a V-bit. When doing inlay, the male piece mirrored or opposite of the female part, cutting the edges with a V-bit. So I'm not sure of that question. When I'm doing it, when we do an inlay, okay, number one, if you've not done inlays before for anyone, right? So you use a V-bit to do the mating part of the inlays. I'm going to come back to this question. And of course, you have the female, and then you have the male plug. They have to be machined mirrored. I got to get that off this. So they have to be machined mirrored, so that if this is the female, when you take the male plug, it comes and drops right in. And you use a V-bit because you want the tapers on the female and on the male to come together. Rather than, I see a lot of people, they'll try to do an inlay with a straight cut, and the V-bit gives you a lot of flexibility. You can change your heights, and when it sits down, it sits in a really nice V taper type of thing. Much more forgiving than using a straight cut. Just Randy said puzzle pieces can also be cut in the toolpath using the inlay function as well. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I have not done that. I've not used the inlay function. on the Vectric software. He's talking about in the Vectric software. So I use the tech. I've got a video that walks you step by step with an inlay, but it uses depth numbers rather than using the inlay feature. One of the things I get comments from time to time on that video. Why didn't you just use the inlay feature? Because I think it's prudent for us to understand the foundations of why we're doing what we're doing and how the machine is doing it and how we want to think about it. So if something goes wrong, you've got some of the technical understanding as to why. But the Vectric software has an inlay function that you can use, and I've just never used it. So I'll be honest there. I couldn't help you with that one. So Kate is now calling me to. So Don, you want to go watch my video at 8:40? Let's take a look. What video do you want to go watch at 8:40? All right, I got to scroll back to Don. There you are. Question: what questions to ask yourself when defining an avatar customer? Okay, so now I know why Kate said that. So Don is asking what questions you ask yourself when defining an avatar. So we have actually covered this multiple times, but Kate and I spent an entire mentoring video just on the avatar, right? It's not as simple as asking yourself questions. It's diving deep into the psychology of the person of this avatar. And an avatar is not your customer base. The avatar is one specific person, right? You have to dive into their psychology if you're going to get with them. So there's a video. If you do a search on this channel, I don't think I've put them in a playlist, which is something I need to do. So I'm going to mentoring videos in playlists. Okay. So there is an hour and a half long video where we dove into this, and it really dives in. It's not as simple as just asking yourself questions. Okay. It's for anyone who's getting into business and you seriously want to do this and you really want to nail into a market and do well with it, you have to really do the work, the foundation work, which is understanding your avatar. You have to understand yourself. You have to see your own limitations, and you have to break through them. So at the end of the day, what you want to go find the video. It's probably understanding your customer or knowing who your customer is, but it's going to have a thumb. I don't remember what the video is, so I'll try to link it down below. But just do a search for CNC Business on the IDC Woodcraft YouTube channel and look at the titles, and they'll say that even on the thumbnail, it'll say something about the customer. So look for that. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. For anyone, right? If you are looking to get into CNC business and you did not go along the journey with the mentoring with Kate and I, we did 10 episodes together, right? Where we talked about a lot of different things and really drilled into Kate, okay? Because she wants to succeed, and she was like most of us do when we first get into business. It's crazy, right? We're all over the place. We don't really know what we're doing. We don't know where we're going, focusing. So we just keep trying so many things, and we never get ourselves aligned in a direction, right? So that entire series, if you watch them all, that's 10 hour-and-a-half videos. But this is what it takes to start making that shift, to change your thinking and start to understand what market you're getting into, why you're getting into that market, and who are the customers in that market, and where are they hanging out at? Where are they searching for what you've got? So go back, watch those videos. If you, at the end of the day, if you are interested in business, that whole series is something you should watch, or put your earbuds in. I have not loaded them up as podcasts, which I need to do. I've loaded a few of them, but that's going to be on my task list. So you can listen to them at work, but you can play YouTube and just listen to it. Okay, so there's another one. Kate called me to Tim Adams at 8:43. So let's go to Tim at 8:43. Where are you at, Tim? Oh, you scroll, move me backwards, Kate. Okay, 8:43. I love having the navigator. It makes life so much better. All right, Tim, for you, it's not about making a sale. More of how can I help your business question. It's not about making a sale. More of how can I help your business question. Okay. So I think we're going back to what I was talking about on the like the using the example of the wedding business. Yeah. So what just thinking about what you're saying here, right? You don't want to go into the rule of thumb in all business, right? When we're in business to sell our knowledge or our products or our services, right? And at the end of the day, we want to sell it to make a profit. But to Tim's point, if you present yourself to the customer as I'm trying to make a sale here, right? Now you're turning them off, right? It's always about how can you add value to them, right? And so you really want to be aware of your own mindset. Again, you got to go back and watch the series that Kate and I did, because it really dives deep into a lot of stuff. And in fact, there's quite a few people who were watching that actually went through a lot of shifts along with it, right? We have to learn to question our own thinking, and we have to question our beliefs. We have to be observant of our thoughts and our feelings, and why we're being triggered in certain ways, why we're resentful of other things, right? In business, we have to, in anything in life, we have to come in with a gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. I'll give you an example. I was at the doctor's office Monday. I had this eye fixed, cataracts, and now both my eyes are fixed now, and I can see much better. And while I'm sitting at the doctor's office, it was a 2-hour wait. But by the way, Kate was going to take me there, and we were going to do a video together. She was going to come down from Indianapolis, which is about 2 hours away, but she got sick. And so anyway, I was down at the doctor's office, and there was a 2-hour wait. They were falling behind. There was a couple that was sitting across from me, and they were the kind of like the low budget farmer kind of, that's the way they looked. And that whole 2 hours, never once did they take their hands off of each other, meaning they were either holding hands, or his hand was on her arm or on her leg, or her hand was on his leg. I'm not, it's just, I forgot why I brought that up, because that was one of those moments where I'm like, this is just so cool to see that. I forgot why I brought that up. All right, Garrett, I appreciate the consistency and continued education. That comes from Facebook user. So Facebook users, if you're on Facebook, I think below the video, there's something that says allow Facebook to show your name, right? You click that, and then we can see who you are. And Kate has called up another one. So we got Jack at 8:49. I hope I'm making this work out well, considering I don't have my co-pilot with me. Well, got her. It's kind of working out. Jack, did your feather inlay last weekend? It worked out perfect. Okay, yeah. So the inlay thing, right? So he's talking about a video. I did the step-by-step video, and it was a feather. And I give you, there's a link where you can download that file and the G code for free, right? So you can work with it yourself. You can follow along. You can try it out. Sometimes people have this some kind of weird mistake with it, and I haven't been able to figure it out why. But sometimes it doesn't always fit right, and I'm thinking that might be because the G code has been proven over and over again. Many people have run it, but So I don't know why, if you come up with a loose fit, without me being there and studying it, I couldn't tell you. So Kate, where else are you going to call me to? She is going to call me to cut V-bit. Oh, for acrylic. So Brooks was asking about the upcut V-bit for acrylic and epoxy. So I have not worked with epoxy, so I can't really tell you. Kate is the master epoxy girl. Okay, she's done a ton of epoxy projects, and she'll be teaching about that soon. As far as using a V-bit on acrylic, I don't like to use V-bits. They don't leave a very clean finish, but you can, but your feed rates have to be up there. The thing with acrylic is plastic, right? If you go too slow, the plastic will heat up really quick as you're shearing it away. And if you don't get it away from your bit, it'll start to stick to your bit, or it'll start to clump together. And so V-bits, I've seen people do it. And I even got a project sent to me from somebody that did a V-bit on plexiglass, which I don't recommend you doing it on. Plexiglass is flexible, which is it's an acrylic, but it's flexible. Cast acrylic is rigid, and it's much more forgiving because it's rigid with your router bits. At the end of the day, there's this finesse of feeds and speeds when it comes to that relative to the bits that you use. Using an upcut V-bit on that, I'm not gonna come out with an upcut V-bit for the use of acrylic. It's an interesting thought, though. I'll let that one roll around my head. Cut V-bit, but I probably will not. So Don at 8:55. Kate, this is really helpful. So Don, you're sharing a lot today, and I appreciate it. Keep it up. That's not to say stop by any means. I've been watching all the mentoring videos with Mark. Haven't gotten to Kate's yet. Okay, so I did about a year and a half ago. I did another mentoring series with a guy named Mark, and he was getting along really well, but that stopped suddenly because things changed with Mark, and it was no longer appropriate. So what's going to happen is when you get to the end with the ones with Mark, you're going to go, oh, what happened with Mark? Right? Things with him changed, and so the mentoring wasn't appropriate to continue anymore. So Kate, on the other hand, is one that's not going to quit. Right? She's got the right mindset to not allow things to get in her way, and when they do, she's kind of one of those badass bitches to say, you might try to mess with me, but it ain't gonna last long, right? So I would Mark does have good stuff. There is good stuff in that video, but one thing that's not in the Mark series is the deep mindset work, because business is all here. Your success, right? And whatever you create in your world is all based on what's up in here. Your results, what you do in the world, what you do with other people, how you react with other people, what comes back in your world, how much money you have, the lifestyle that you have, everything, what you have, what you wish you had but you don't have, it all is because of the way you think. And as business owners, we have to look at that and say, the results of my life are my responsibility. I am causing them. And even if bad things happen to me, somehow I am causing them, right? And it's sometimes so subtle and so sneaky, but we cause it. We attract it. I got to get that comment off there. So, hide the comment. There we go. And Kate, you were going to pull me to. Kate just gave me. Kate just she just laughed at me for calling her a badass bitch who's never going to quit, and she won't. She won't. Okay. Perhaps, let's see. Tim. Random stupid question. New to CNC. Okay. First of all, brother, no question is stupid, right? We all are just where we're at in our CNC journey. Um, I there are countless people I have talked to that don't even know how to use a computer. Okay, and but they are willing to dive into the CNC enough that they are willing to figure out at least how to design stuff on the computer. So no stupid questions at all. And okay, with IDC Woodcraft, right? My rule, my hard and fast rule with the team at IDC Woodcraft is we will never ever put someone down. We will always encourage them, always, right? Because sometimes people get into this, they're scared of the computers, they're scared of the machines, right? That's why Kate started the Women Who CNC group for those women who are trying to figure it out. And they just need to talk to another woman so they can talk their language, or maybe they're afraid to pull that machine out. She's had a couple people that were they bought the machine and then they scared them to death, right? Okay, let's get back to the question. I'm having issues getting the bits out of the collet. What are you doing wrong? Pliers and a mallet seems unnecessary. Yeah. So yeah, you should never have to use pliers to get stuff out of your collets. So I'm going to go with the first thing that came to my head, and it's something that I generally see is the collet itself may be a little undersized. If you are having a hard time getting the bit into the collet in the first place, even if the collet's out of the machine, okay, the collet may be a little undersized, or maybe a burr in there or something that's hanging up the bit. If after you tighten it up and then you loosen it up and the collet doesn't snap loose and you've got to fight with it, then you may have some pitch up inside, pitch being sap up inside of the taper in the shaft, or something like that. Something that's just binding things up. You may have pitch in the collet. There are a multitude of reasons, but I would think maybe the collet is too small, or the bit maybe just a hair too big. And so if it's all the router bits that you have and they're all doing it, then you probably got an issue with your collet. You may want to replace the collet, but first I would clean out the collet. A rule of thumb with collets: every time you change a bit, always clean out the collet, get the sawdust out of there, because sawdust acts like a lubricant when it gets in there. And the thing that sucks is you don't even know it. You'll be carving, then you'll be in the middle of your project and you start noticing that cut is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and you're wondering, how the hell is that bit moving down? Right, that's happening because you're probably using maybe an upcut bit has a downward force, downcut bit has an upward force, but I don't know what it is, but they always like to come down, and so the bit will slip down in the collet. So always clean them out. All right, Kate, where else you taking me to? This is great. You missed one. She missed Randy at 8:26. So let's go back to Randy at 8:26. And see what I have to say. Boy, you're going to take me back a ways. Oh, 8:26, 8:26. Kate, I miss you. I miss you out here, sister. I'm dodging around because my camera is set right up in front of the comment. So I got to switch it over to the other side. I can't swing it around because it's on those little flexible pole. 8:26. We have a Facebook user that said hi. Randy, there we go. Garrett, you need to cut aluminum 1/8 inch thick. Which one of your bits do you recommend? My bits are not really geared for aluminum. The one that would work on aluminum would be the 1/4 inch, the 1/4 inch upcut. When you're doing aluminum, you want to use upcuts. You can try the 1/8 inch upcuts, but they are more designed for wood than they are for metal. But you can give it a whirl. But But whenever you're cutting metal, aluminum, you always want to use an upcut. Never ever use a downcut. I hope that answers the question. Okay. Kate, I don't see anything you asking, telling me to go to. So let's scroll on down. For the second time, from close to 1/4, but it's not equal to 1/4. 6 millimeters is close to 1/4, but it's not equal to 1/4. No, it is not. For the record, he said. A metric collet. Okay, you can force a 1/4 inch shank into a metric collet, a 6 millimeter collet. So 6 millimeters is 6 millimeters. A 1/4 inch is 6.35 millimeters. Right, so it's just slightly bigger, but it's big enough that it's going to give you a lot of problem if you have that. And go to STL Wood. Well, Kate, you got to go. Okay, so we got a 859. Got a question at STL 859. Where are we? Okay. STL Woodworking. For those of you who are new, STL, right? Not this person here, but STL, you'll often hear an STL file. An STL file is a 3D or 2.5D modeling file. It's a certain format that I believe Autodesk put out that is designed to be transferable to all design softwares. So, am I familiar with Carbide Create? Really, you have questions. I would like to send an email about it if you have. Thanks for this. Specifically, the new 3/16. It works great between the. So he's talking about the 3/16 compression bit, and I do have more coming in. Those who are on the CNC Insiders list, right? When I release new bit, I release to them first. I'll get back to your question here in just a second. When I have a new bit, I release to the CNC Insiders email list first, right? And I usually offer them a discount on the release. Sometimes I don't. It really depends. But with the 3/16, I do a 15% discount. With the Beast, I'm going to offer them a 15% discount, right? And then, but I won't release it to the public until they've had their chance to get it with the discount, and the discount won't be available to the public. So if you're not on the CNC Insiders list, you want to get on that if you want to get hold of these bits. And I send you files from time to time with it, and then you get certain updates that the public doesn't get. In the description of this video, whether it's in Facebook, it's going to be above the video. You hit the more button, and then everything will show up. In YouTube, it's down below. You'll see just the title. I think you tap it if you're on the phone. You tap the title. The comment section will open up. And down, it'll be a few sentences. Then you hit the more button, and the rest of the comment will show up. You'll see all the links there. Also, if you are a female creator and you want to find a good Facebook group with a CNC, Women Who CNC and do woodworking, sign on to Kate's Women Who CNC Facebook group. There's also a link for that as well. And it's only for women. So I encourage Kate to do that, and she's done it. What else? I put links for the 1.5 inch surfacing bit. I just got those back in stock, and I'm already getting I've been shipping the hell out of them today, along with the hog just came back in stock, and I've been shipping them like crazy today too. And so I don't mind, but it definitely keeps me busy. So Carbide Create. I got Carbide Create on my computer. I played with it a little bit, but I am not a Carbide Create guy. I don't know enough about it to really help you out. I can say at this point, you probably know more about Carbide Create than I do. So I don't know if there's any Carbide Create YouTube videos. I'm sure there's some, but not like deep dive. You go to the forums. I don't even know where to find it at. I do have a database for Carbide Create though. So all the router bits on IDC Woodcraft, whether you have Vectric or and any type of Vectric, whether it's Cut 2D, Aspire, or the V-Carve series, for Fusion, Carbide Create, and Carveco. On the IDC Woodcraft website, at the top, it says database downloads. You click that, you'll go to the page where you can download a database, and you'll get all the CNC router bits for IDC Woodcraft populated into your thing. And there's usually instructions with it to tell you how to do it. If there's not, then search it out on YouTube. Saves you a ton of time rather than try to enter the stuff in manually. Also, the router bit app for your cell phone. Okay, so IDC Woodcraft has an app for your cell phone, right? It's either for both Android and Apple, and it has all the router bit information in there, speeds, all the dimensions of the bits, everything. And so if you, I would strongly recommend it. Even I go back and reference that when I get an email and they're going, what's the feed for this particular bit? And I got so many bits, I don't remember it all. So I go into the database. I said, let me check it out, go into the app. So I didn't link the apps here, but just go to your app store, whether it's Apple or Android, and search IDC Woodcraft. The app is free. So it's a great resource to have right at your fingertips when you need it. That was the whole intention, is to make that stuff as convenient for you as possible. All right, Kate has sent me to Jack's. Go back to 849 bells. 849, important. Good grief, Kate, you're making me walk back and forth. 849. But she said it's important, so Kate says it's important, then it's important. Bells, hello, Bells. Happy Wednesday to Garrett. Happy Wednesday back to you, Bells. And also, Kate would wish you the same if she could talk. You purchased the 11-piece set, IDC Woodcraft. I want to make sure you have everything once you receive your 30 by 48 long mill, MK2. So you're getting the MK2. Very cool. You plan on surfacing the table and start with some small projects. So you purchase the 11-piece set from IDC. Make sure you have everything once you, okay. So that's kind of an open-ended thing. Make sure you have everything. I would say, just in thinking about what would I need if I got this machine, and I'm getting ready to do this. So if you got the 11-piece set, you got the download. And the download, when you get the IDC Woodcraft 11-piece set, it's not like most other router bit companies that just give you the set, and then you got to figure out, what the hell is my feeds and speeds and all that. I also give you a list of all the videos that are on my channel, or most of them. I got to update the list, but that list has been reorganized, so it kind of goes in order. You can also get that list off the website, idcwoodcraft.com. On the homepage, you scroll down. Right, if you're new to CNC, it gives you the process to follow instead of trying to figure it out yourself and dancing around with a YouTube video, trying to figure it all out. So one of the things in that file download that you get are the clamps, right? So you need to be able to hold your workpiece. That's, if you can't hold your workpiece, then the rest of everything else is useless, right? So you need clamps, and not only do you want clamps, but you want CA glue. Okay, you want to get the CA glue. I've got videos that talk about that, and there's quite a few videos on the internet that talk about how to work with CA glue. I'm going to get it real quick, so I'm going to just fade out for a second, and I'll show you what it is. Okay, so there's a discount code, an IDC Woodcraft discount code to this stuff. So it's Starbond, right? The name of the company is Starbond, And when you go to check out, you use the discount code IDC Woodcraft. In all the YouTube videos, it's listed down below, with the exception of the live videos. So if you go to any other video, you open up the comment section, you'll see the link, and it tells you the exact code and how to use it. So this is a great question. I haven't touched on this subject in quite a while. Sometimes when we're going to be working on a project, hold on, I'm going to get one more thing. Whenever you cut a project, you're ready to carve on it, one of the first things that you should get in the habit of is not just start carving assuming a board is flat. Almost always, boards have some deviation of them. There may be a slight warp in it, or it'll be just a little thinner on this side relative to this side. It may be twisted, whatever. But you'll always want to start out by doing a very light surface on one side and flip the board over and do a light surface on the other side. So you have to surface the entire project, right? The whole thing. So if you have clamps holding the thing down, you can't surface the whole project without running into your clamps. Then that's where we come up with the CA glue technique, which you will use a lot. And what it is, it's technically super glue. You're going to put a piece of painter's tape or several strips of painter's tape down on your project piece, and then you'll put several strips of your painter's tape on your spoil board on your machine, and then you put a strip of the super glue, the CA glue. This is not the right consistency, but this is the Sarbon brand, right? This is a medium density. You want the thin one. And you just put a bead down, and then you spray it with the accelerator, and follow the videos that I talk about. Usually my project videos, I actually show you that whole process. And then you've left the whole surface exposed so that you can surface the whole project. And it's a really good way of doing that. So you want to get the CA glue. In all the videos that I produce, other than the live videos, there will be a link in the description for that. But I'll try to remember to put that in this one, CA glue link. And IDC Woodcraft is a 10% discount code, IDC Woodcraft. But I would go into the videos and make sure. What else would we need? Let's see if Kate suggested anything. Nope, she's just still giving me timestamps. So dust collection is something that's important, right? Especially when you're working with MDF. MDF, if you're new, is something called, it stands for medium density fiber. And my spoil board right there is made of MDF. And what it is basically sawdust glued together. And it's not particle board. By the way, don't work with particle board. Right? Particle board has lots of glue in it, and it'll gum up your router bit really quick. Whenever you practice making projects, get MDF. MDF can be very, very dusty if you don't have dust collection. And I mean, it's really, really fine dust, and it hangs in the air, and it just hangs there and spreads everywhere, and it eventually settles, and your entire place is dusty. But of course, the problem is inhaling that. So you want to make sure you have good dust collection. So with the long mill MK2, hopefully you ordered the brush, the dust shoe with it. Use at least something like a shop vac that will attach to that. Something that's got just good sucking power, and that will pull the sawdust away from. It pulls it up the tube instead of letting it go everywhere. And looking at the machine, what else would you need? I think you're pretty good. Now, definitely download that list, right? Or go through that list of all the projects. So you're brand new to CNC routers, Hey, Tim, let's see you there. Um, okay, so you go through that step by step. Don't If you're brand new, we all want to get started and dive right in super fast and start making stuff, and you can't do it. It's baby steps. You'll find yourself getting much more frustrated. All right, so Kate, what have you pulled out for me? We've got Tim's question is for me. So Tim Adams at 9:14. So I'll let Kate come out and talk. So we're gonna go to Tim at 9:14, and Kate can squeak her way through that. So that I find Tim. Okay, so Tim, question for Kate. My better half has no understanding about a CNC and what you're doing. How best for me to get her interested while keeping it about work and fun?
Well, hey,
So,
Tim.
Kate,
Can you hear me okay?
yeah, you're on. I hear you.
All right, awesome. Sorry if I'm super squeaky right now. My voice just got out of a big coughing fit. So, Tim, what I would do is, I know it's going to sound kind of funny, but women love Pinterest. If you haven't noticed, I'm sure you have a honeydew list a mile long if she has this app. I would have her get on there and start looking for projects, but try to guide her and teach her about what different bits that you have to use. So the laser projects are really enticing for women because they're really detailed and they give a lot of like script and text and things like that. But I think on my Instagram page, I have like some round signs that say like welcome ish, depends on who you are, like really cute door hangers. But you kind of have to teach her a little bit about the bits and how they carve and how they'll work. So if you show her a design, um, be sure to tell her, be like, okay, well, I have to cut it all the way around. So I've got to have like, think of like a quarter of an inch all the way around, or talk to her about V bits and getting like a really cool script. Pull up different like carvings on Pinterest and different images like that, and kind of try to teach her a little bit about it and what projects that you can do for her and that you guys could even do together. Like she could be the designer and, maybe make bows for signs or paint signs. I've seen a lot of husband and wife teams come together and do stuff like that. So I would encourage you to just also educate her, but talk to her and tell her what type of projects you can do realistically without getting too off into the weeds. And the more that she learns about the bits and like what type of actual projects are doable for your skill level, will help her determine what type of project she's picking out. And it'll be a really fun project for the two of you to do in the evenings, or just have fun conversation, because that's what my husband and I do. And we actually have a blast. He'll send me all kinds of things. And he's like, can you make this? Can you make this? But it's a unique opportunity to really bond with your spouse. So I would encourage you to teach.
All right, cool. Thank you, Kate. And I might add, adding on to what Kate said, right? Uh, get an idea from her of what she likes, right? You know her well enough, and say maybe you can engage her and say, what would I put on this kind of girly thing, right? And then make it, and then take it back to her and say, is this what you mean, right? If you can turn her idea into reality, something can click then, and then she might start to get that interest, to start get that and then start to have the interest enough that you can give her the understanding. And it sounds like what you want is to get her involved, right? So you got to tickle her emotional fancy. Is that a good way of putting it, Kate?
Yeah, he definitely wants to get her involved. So I think that's a great, it's honestly, it's a great bonding time. My husband and I have a lot of fun doing it, except for the roles are reversed because I'm the CNC'er and He finds all the cool projects, but there's definitely a lot out there. I mean, have her join some Facebook groups that, you know, maybe if you're a long mill owner or whatever your machine is, have her join those groups too and see the projects, and maybe she'll start to become a little more intrigued.
Right. Okay. And Tim said, thanks, Kate, at the very end there. All right. So, Darren, do I plan on making more step-by-step videos? You find them very informative and feel like you learn more from them about the software, and fumbling around and hoping. So, there are a couple more step-by-step videos I have on the plate that I want to do. One is, what I try to do is I try to make videos on projects that a lot of people make, right? Bowls. So I want to do a step-by-step on a bowl. I've actually had that on my list for quite some time now. And then the Adirondack chair. Unfortunately, I will still do that video, but I will not walk you step by step through the designing process because it's too complex and it really requires 3D modeling software to do something like an Adirondack chair to actually build it up from scratch. So I will do a video about how I set it up and run it, and I will also make that file available to anybody who wants it. So there are other videos I got coming down the pipeline. IDC is going through a bit of a transition, and it has been for a while. So it's made it a little more tedious to do content. But what I'm doing now is I'm actually, I need to hire a videographer or bring somebody on board onto the IDC Woodcraft team that will act as a video person. They will take my videos. It makes it much easier instead of me putting up the camera. Working on bringing on people who will train, right? Like Kate's one of them. She's does one-on-one. By the way, if you want to do one-on-one with the Vectrix software, right? If you're stuck on something or just want to get a little education, be sure to check the description, Facebook above, YouTube down below. There's a link to get hold of Kate where you can set up some time with her and get you unstuck. Or sometimes I've run into it where people they don't know how to handle a certain project, and it just takes someone who's been at it for a while, myself or Kate, that can work through, look at it and say, oh, this is how I do it. This is the way to do it, right? And that'll help you get ahead. What I will say about one-on-ones is sometimes we don't want to take the time to like spend the money to pay for Kate's time, right? Which is what we do, right? We pay for the knowledge and the skill. But what that does too is that takes you not just past your problem, but it gets you an entire step to the next level. You learn so much in 1 hour on a one-on-one. It's better than 40 hours of YouTube, I swear. So if you're stuck on anything, then links are in the descriptions. So you see something else, Kate? There's 2 places you pointed out. There we go. Darren 927. I guess I answered that one, right? 927. Yeah. And then you got one more. That's a wrap. Yeah. Everybody's questions have been answered. Kate has been on it. She's been doing the airplane checklist thing. So, and we are at the bottom of the hour. We've been running this for an hour and a half. So next week, same bat time. No, it has to be same CNC time, same CNC channel. Kate will be feeling better, and I will be back as well. Both eyes functioning very well. And we will talk to you next time, everyone. Just want to check one last thing. Nope, we are good. Okay, we'll talk to you all later. Hasta la vista. Happy CNC.